Hello everyone, I'm Thailand and I'll be your host today for the program ASEAN Talks, the program that will update all of you with what is going all around in our ASEAN region. And today there'll be a wonderful opera performance coming to ASEAN, i.e. in Thailand. And today we have got both opera singers who will perform such a wonderful performance in the performance. And first of all, I wish to introduce to Kun Sophie Tanapura, who is the opera singer for soprano. สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Yes, and the other one is Kun Christophe Carré, who is the opera singer for countertenor. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome both of you to the program. But first of all, I wish to ask, normally when ASEAN people talk to each other, we might not think about, opera performance in ASEAN. How come a French language opera in ASEAN, especially in Thailand? Kun Sophie, can you explain the background of how do you bring the operas here in Thailand?
Well, actually, I spent 11 years in Paris. And so I love France very much. And it was there that I started to study singing. And I came back some 20 years ago and decided that something had to be done here. Yeah.
And you don't think that opera is far away from let's say, ASEAN people?
It is very far away.
How can you shorten the distance, opera and ASEAN?
Well, I think it was very far away 20 years ago. It's getting closer because of the internet age, YouTube.
Sure. YouTube, of course.
YouTube. So I think a lot of young people are more and more interested. And I must say that in the last 10 years, because I also teach voice, my students are in their 20s. So you cannot say that it's very far. They love it. And now many of them are soloists. Yeah.
Actually, I have to say, I don't know whether you agree with me, opera has already become a universal language. It's a universal or international culture for everyone, not only for European anymore. And one thing I have to ask, when you talk about opera, people think about Italian mainly. How come opera in French? Can both of you explain that?
You want to say something?
Christophe, you're the owner of the language.
For this opera, for example, this opera were written firstly in Italian language. And after this version later was written in French version. So we will perform the French version.
Therefore, I mean different languages. And the performance, which is called Orpheé, Eurydice, I don't know whether I pronounce it correctly. What is it about? I mean the story. What is it about?
Actually, it's a Greek legend of demigods.
The demigods.
Yes, yes. Orpheé and Eurydice. Orpheé is, if I'm not wrong, the son of Jupiter, I think. And Eurydice, nymph, the original story. Now, actually, it's timeless. It's not particularly Greek. It was first Greek. And I think this story is very interesting because actually true love triumphs over all. Eurydice dies in the beginning, bitten by a snake. And I think in the Ramayana stories we have things like that too. So it's not particularly Greek. And then Orpheé is very sad. Yeah. And the gods have pity on Orpheé because he represents true love. Right? And so then they said, okay, Cupid, in this opera, the Cupid is called Amour.
Amour. Oh, yes. Love.
Yes.
Love in French. Could Christophe, anything to add about the highlights or attractions of the story of Orpheé and Eurydice?
Yeah, maybe for pursue the story, the loves ask him to use his voice to change the monster and to make the mind changing the mind of the monster and to introduce him to his request to return of the true life with Eurydice.
from what I see, there are many key characters in this, and both of you also perform in that opera. I mean, which of you performed in the role of Orpheé?
This is Orpheé.
And who is Eurydice?
And I'm Eurydice.
I see. Can you describe each of the characters who will appear on the stage? Let's say you might talk about the Eurydice already. The highlights, what will she perform? What kind of message you wish to carry through to the audience?
You see, as our Orpheé was just saying, the Eurydice dies, right? And so...
At the beginning of the story?
Yes, already at the beginning of the story, so I don't have to sing.
Oh, it would be good if you could do some part of that.
Later. So, actually, Eurydice is already dead, and Orpheé has the help of Amour to go get Eurydice. So, actually, Eurydice is in the underworld. Now, underworld may sound like, in English, some
dark place,
terrible place,
untouchable place,
and probably some place you don't want to go to. No, this is the Elysium. It's a beautiful place. Yes, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. It's actually not so bad if you become a happy spirit. Yeah. This is just another face of. There's life, and then there's the afterlife.
Afterlife.
And afterlife can be beautiful. Yes.
That's
This is the idea. And so Orpheé has to go through monsters, and he tames the monsters with his beautiful voice, and goes down to pick up, or up, I don't know, down or up. Where is this land of the spirits? We don't know. Somewhere, another dimension. Yeah.
And when I look at the team of performers, including the conductors and so on, they are from different nations. Thai, French, Austrian. How come that, people from different nationalities come together and perform this Orpheé and Eurydice?
Well, I think human beings share the same earth, the same civilization, evolution of civilizations. Of course, we each have our specificities of being of a nationality. But if we think bigger, we have the same origin in humanity, right? We come from I would say, the same cultural sources. After all, the Greeks came all the way to India. Alexander the Great. Yes.
Oh,
and the Silk Road goes all the way to Italy from China.
Yes.
So
this is quite normal, huh?
Yes.
That we remove the frontier of different countries. And the one
you also have in the story the visit of the governor of the French, the governor of the Louis XIV.
From Thailand, ambassadors.
Ambassadors of Thailand.
Ambassadors from
during
of Siam.
Of King Narai, that was
Yes.
long time ago.
Yes.
Time ago, yeah.
Actually, nationalities is part of the frontier in which we can remove and build together. And actually, you talk about the Orpheé and Eurydice, and who perform Amour?
Amour is Uma Paitun. Yes, one of my students. Yes, it's quite a challenge for her. But
Well, for those who might be, wish to watch the performance, they might not know about the structure of opera. When you said you are sopranos and you are countertenor, what do they mean? For audience who might not get used to opera, sopranos. Can you give some examples of sopranos and explain what kind of soprano represent in terms of message to the audience?
well, actually, the three main characters are all high voices.
All high voices.
This is unique to this opera, all high voices. Normally you'd have